Hey, what's up, guys? We're back, and right now what we're doing is we're getting the engine picker set up because we're going to try and use the engine picker to lift our ramp up in place for us and slide it, kind of land it up there on the bar, because I want to double check this piece of diamond plate. We went and picked up our steel order. We got a bunch of pieces of diamond plate, and we got our expanded steel back over there. I don't know if you can see it along the gate. We did pay for a shear charge, and unfortunately they still didn't shear the expanded steel 100% correctly. I guess it comes over a little bit, a little over 8 feet. So I had to trim a little bit off the bottom because we're trying to land on our halfway marks on the bars. So not a big deal. I took a couple hours really trimming them all down this morning so that they all fit and should lay out nice. I used this ramp as a sample, cut down the other ones. We still got to build out that side. So right now we're just going to lift that up into place, hopefully using this engine picker. Kind of mock it up. I need to mark the side rail where we're going to need to weld and tie that in. And then I'm also going to need to mark it up there, kind of where it's going to sit. And just kind of check the diamond plate, a few things. So let me get you guys set up back here and be able to see if we can the audio in the earlier in the video, or the first video, wasn't that great because it was on my cell phone. So now we got the GoPro going. It should be better, and I don't have any music blasting in the back. So let's get to it. It's going to take forever to jack this up. Let's see. Working alone, so I kind of had no choice but to try something like this. You guys might hear like power equipment and stuff in the background. The neighbors are doing their yards and cleaning their driveways. It's a very active neighborhood here. It's Saturday, so it's very active right now, which is good for me, because if I lived on a very quiet street, probably wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff. City'd be all over me. You can't be fabricating in, in a residential area. Well, sorry, bud, but I am. All right, we're about 3/4 of the way, almost there. Then we got to try and roll this into place. We have no idea what's going to go on with that. Sometimes you're working alone, you gotta do stuff like this. Even if you have two people, sometimes the stuff's just too heavy. Alright, so let me move this piece of diamond plate off of here. Gosh. Just that piece is heavy, guys. So imagine this whole ramp. Okay. Alright. So now let me kind of, using the ramp, I'm going to try and coach the picker forward. I did put a protective towel on it, so if it rubs on the side of the trailer, it's not the end of the world. And we're going to be doing a lot of touch-up paint. So kind of cheat that forward and then just, oh yeah, dog. Kind of makes me feel like I've done it before. Huh. Not bad at all. Now, I don't know if the little tabs I welded up there are strong enough, so we're just going to kind of set it in place, but if it collapses, at least it's hooked to the crane. So let's see. Kind of limited on space here. Yeah. Okay, hold that. My gosh. I don't think that could go any smoother, dude. So basically, as long as my side rail is hitting this side rail nice and straight. I don't want it out or in. I don't want the ramps, you know, bowed or whatever. So I could run a plumb bob up there and check it, but that's pretty straight. That looks pretty good, man. The picker did good, dude. Not bad at all. I'd have to get this on our TikTok, dude. You know what I'm saying? All right, so not bad, guys. Now our big checkpoint is basically I just wanted to be able to check this plate right here and make sure that 18 inches is going to be good and that it's not going to protrude too far into this beam, and it's not going to start to lift off these legs here. Let me get it. Never know what's going on outside. All right, so if I go right there to 18, oh, it's perfect, guys. It is literally perfect. We're trying. So, see, the reason I want to check this is because I want to be able to flip this whole thing over and weld on the back side of this, because I don't really want to put any weld up here till my expanded steel meets that. But this was our checkpoint, and this isn't a big deal because it's actually going to get a strip that probably either goes all the way across or at least a pad that'll come out far enough to where that'll sit level, so that this outside leg and this inside leg will both be sitting on diamond plate, and then this diamond plate will hit it and it'll all be flush. That looks pretty good. Imagine ×2. Man, that's going to be so strong. And then down support legs. So yeah, that looks really good. We can go ahead and drop this ramp back down now. And then we'll weld in this plate, and then we'll flip it over and we'll weld the back side. And then once we get it up in place, we can add the expanded steel and kind of go from there. Man, what's in my throat today? I ate this habanero salsa, dude. I think the habanero salsa got me. Good stuff, man. All right, we'll be right back. All right, I'm gonna clean up the diamond plate and then get the welder set up. I'm gonna weld that on there, and then we'll flip this. We'll use the engine picker and we'll actually flip this thing over, weld in the diamond plate in the backside of all of our cross bars, and then we'll stick this back up in the air, and we might even tack it up there and see if we finally got it where we want it. I got to clean up this frame rail a little bit, couple other little areas, maybe even put the diamond plate across before we get too far, but let's get going on it. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. You know, that'd be nice. Okay. Gotta get used to everything's heavy, dude. On this diamond decking, they put a lot of mill scale on there because they don't want it to stick to each other when it's on the stack. So you can see how thick this is. And I mean, to an extent, you can weld through it. It's nice when you can get all the way down to a clean surface, but we're at least gonna scuff it down as much as we can, hit it with like a little acetone or those cleaning wipes, and then lay it on here, a couple of tacks to hold it, flip it over, and then we could really weld it up pretty good from the back side. Might just go to the electric plug-in. Might speed it up a little bit. Yeah, let me get another wheel and we'll go with the plug-in grinder because you can see they get gunked up. I don't think that has enough RPMs to keep it going. Another thing is, I don't like using like the real hard wheels because they gouge the metal so bad. So I really like using these, but they just don't last all that great. I'll be back. I never use the wrench. I put them on till the wheel, here, I hold the lock, I put them on till the wheel grips the lock ring, and that's it. That is super tight, and then I can get it off. Okay, you gotta plug it in, bud. Alright, so it's pretty much baked on there. This was a brand new sheet they had got in. So I'm hoping that'll be enough. Hold on. Got your ass. Had a fly really bothering me, dude. Got him. Let me flip this on there, tack weld it in place, and then we're gonna call that good and see what we can do. Get rid of this mask. You know what? I should probably. I gotta grind out this railing here. Yeah, at least for this first section, to where I can get the grinder in there. Everywhere else it'll be fine, but just got to think ahead a little bit. Let's get this plate set on here. About it right there. You know me, I like it to be straight. I like it to be square. I'm not going to cheat it too far to this side because I want to make sure it's tied up against this rail. I don't want to gap this bar out at all. Yeah, that looks really good. We could do one center tack right here, because if the expanded steel comes down and it hits it, then I can just trim the expanded steel or grind that out, but at least it'll help us hold it just till we get it flipped over. I might even flip it up on its edge now that I'm looking at it once it's tacked on there. So, alrighty, let's grab this. I think I was talking about it on the last video, or that these are such short distances that we're going to be welding that the welder really never gets out there and gets to really open throttle, you know. So you're basically doing small 1.5 beads, you know. That in some welding worlds, that's like a tack, really. You get some tip dip. So we went ahead and we put a new tip on here. I'll show you guys real quick. This will be a good thing. Look how clean the tip is inside. Brand new, right? Well, I have this other one down here. And before I discovered this tip dip stuff, this isn't the one that I was using earlier. But it's so like adhered onto this tip. It's so stuck on there that I can't even bang it off. It was actually starting to damage it because of whatever brass material or whatever this is. My stock Miller tip is copper, and I think this is brass, so it's a lot stickier. So I'm gonna use this dip right here. I'm gonna go in there like that, and I'm gonna see if it's gonna see if that's gonna do it some justice or not. Put a little bit on that nozzle. I have no idea what's, and see now the tip inside sits inside of this outer one where my stock one was so wore out, so it would kind of stick the weld a lot. Anxious to see if this is better. I should probably do a practice piece, but nah. Alright, I think a centralized tack for now. That That's a little more than a tack weld, but I'm gonna do, I think, the two outsides as well. I think I can make that work. So now that that's there, let me grind off this marker. center straight. Up, down. Yep. And then when the expanded steel slides in here, we'll be able to weld this even more and really lock it in there. But that should be good right there. It's a lot of setup for a little bit of, it's a slow process. I mean, you guys can fast forward, do whatever you want through the video, get to the very end, finish it, whatever. But if you're sticking along and watching the whole thing, it's very slow process because you have to make sure your stuff is straight and square. I'm telling you, I've dealt with it so many times where this right now could be off a little bit. It's going to throw the expanded steel off. It's going to throw the next piece off. Everything, it's not going to look right when it's done. Keep that in mind. Should I become like a auto shop teacher or something? I don't know, maybe. Let's get this thing out of the way and get the ramp flipped either on its side or over or something. Oh, and by the way, I mean, before, dude, the other one would have already been completely caked after like 2-3 little beads like that. Love me some tip dip. Love me some tip dip jam. Alright, move this thing out the way, yo. Another thing is, you want to try and do this, especially if you already have a full-time job. Do not be afraid to incorporate your Saturday, Sunday into getting stuff done and hustling. Hey, I'm a sports guy, believe me. I'm all about hanging out, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Get out of here. Alright, I think I'm out of the way enough of the welder. Alright, so that's going to be a little heavier down here now, so I'll have to probably come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is halfway. So yeah, if we come somewhere like right in here and pick it straight up. Put something under there, bud. Do we have anything? That's the real question. Okay. It's really tight. I should have probably had him cheat the trailer to that side a little bit more and just made a larger work lane on this side, but I didn't. My little Dodge ain't gonna move this big ass trailer. The guy tows it with this massive F550, all fully built, custom. Okay. Block that, drop her down. Damn near flipped itself, bud. Whoa, whoa. Didn't have none of this stuff when I started, so I mean, you got to figure out, what do I need to buy first? You don't need an engine picker right away. You're probably not going to be doing a giant job like this right away anyway. Maybe. I mean, if you're the only one in your area that can do it, yeah. Which is great. You know? Should be able to get close enough. Should be. Could be. You know. Don't worry, dude. We're on a diet, okay? All right. Let's see. I don't know if people commenting in the thing. Hey, dude. A little less fucking Jack in the Box on Friday nights. Alright, guys. Don't get too ahead of yourself like I just did. You got to get the bar that'll actually do what you want it to do. What's up on there? We didn't even know that. There it is. Okay. Tighten this up and go for it. Loosen it. Tighten that up. Oh my goodness. Lift off. Might be asking yourself, how are you gonna flip it? We don't know that yet, you know. We know. It'll get to a point where it's just gonna hang, I'm hoping. And then with that being said, we'll be able to... Okay, hold that. We got action. Yeah, we're gonna have to clamp this plate, guys. We do not want this plate to fucking bend up, because then you're really gonna be in a world of hurt. To be honest, I might cut this front tack and actually clamp that down a little better. I don't know if I'm 100% happy with the way that turned out. Might be. And don't think I'm just nitpicking for the camera, because half the time I forget to go over even. So I'm going to go up and set it on that block. See that block down there in the middle? Bam. Yep. Because what that'll do... But for now, what I'm going to do is just come down on that. We're going to actually let this hang for a minute, because I want to make sure that okay, let me get you guys over here. See how there's a little micro gap under that? If I would have put a C-clamp on here first, then tacked it, that you wouldn't have that little gap. And then here we'll be able to clamp that closed. But see, this is what we want to do, is get our nice big welds in here, hopefully. I don't know. We're gonna see. So I'll get the C-clamp, I'll clamp that on. Yeah, so you can see light. I don't like that. That corner down there seems pretty good, but we'll be cutting this tack off right here. We'll be cutting that tack off right there. I know you see it. I see it. Big job. It's a big job. Get yourself an engine picker and go from there, dude. No, but seriously, guys, don't overwhelm yourself. Well, look, he has this, he has that. Yeah, it doesn't matter, dude. Get yourself a little, like a marketplace or something welder. A Little marketplace welder offer up. Borrow a buddy's. Harbor Freight has great welders now. They have really good welders now. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, jump in here, cut this plate again where I just had it tacked, and then smash that down and re-tack it. Let's see, maybe I can get. Okay. Yeah, this is what I should have did right here. Look. I'll be damned, bro. It had enough. Wow. Snap. Oh yeah. All day, bro. By the time I weld that, this bad boy closed. On and popping, brother. Alright, I'm gonna weld in this corner right here. Come back this way. Actually, weld down. Actually, you know what? I'm AB, guys. That's backward. We need to be down here. It's easier to weld down. It's easier to weld downhill and across, in between an L. Butt welds are really hard because we got action. Oh, that ain't good. But butt welds are hard because there's no, unless it's thick enough material where you can bevel it and start with a root pass and work your way up and do all that. But butt weld is hard because you're basically just welding on top of the seam. So unless you can get a really deep, slow penetration, then it's not going to work out for you. So, all right, let me grab another little C-clamp. And let's kick this into high gear a little bit. Saturday, dude. We got shit to do tonight, bud. Well, I found another C-clamp. I tell you, that's the thing. That's another thing I need to invest in, guys, is C-clamps. Oh, back itches. Like, all these are just kind of shot out, but, water bill, electric bill. There we go. I tell you what, I mean, let's see if the mill scale is going to be too much. If we're going to have to do something else and really grind it off, or if we can get a couple of decent welds on here. I don't know where I could put you guys so you could see a little better. Not bad. Seems to do okay. Yeah, I think those are looking pretty nice. Like I said, the wire speed way down, and I'm just taking my time rolling into each material before I move on, and just trying to make like a nice little bead as I go, but making sure that I penetrate enough, and I can see it on the back side, so obviously it is good. Hello. Yeah, that one got a little bit of porosity in it, and it might be because of this um, mill scale that's on there. It's very, very, very difficult to remove. I'm going to wipe it down with a little bit of those cleaning wipes and see if that'll help. Then I got to cut this tack, lay this down. So let me work on that. Actually, cut that tack is what I meant to say, because I think I'm still going to cut it and try and smash that in a little bit more. But you can see you got porosity in there. That's why it looks like there's a hole in it and it bubbled up. It's because of this mill scale on here. The other one's looking pretty good. You can see where it was struggling there a little bit, so I'm going to take and clean this up really good in here before I do any more. And I mean, that was with a 60 grit. I need like a 24 grit wheel to really break through that stuff. Luckily, I don't have too much of this to work with, but we do have quite a bit of diamond plate. So I'll grind on that, clean these up a little bit, and then I'll get you guys back in here once I kind of get further on it so I don't bore you out, and we'll lay this ramp down and go from there, guys. Alright, we got that tack cut that was there. I don't know if you guys can see it up under there. We got that down, no more light shining through. Used the grinding wheel and some cleaning pads to get the surface a lot cleaner. I ground out the one that had some porosity and then laid another couple beads in there, and they look pretty good. So I'm gonna finish welding the bottom side of this plate around, and then we got to weld across here all the way there and all the way back, and that should complete this ramp as far as being ready to go in the air. Clean this side rail a little bit more and keep going, guys. Let's do it. Let's get our little Miller welder going. I'm trying to wear gloves today, but what happens is the welder's hot, so it burns these little threads and these come open. So I had a really nice set of TIG welding gloves. I like them because they're thinner than the arc welding gloves, but unfortunately those also ripped because the grinder caught them. So Harbor Freight, baby. Harbor Freight. That's where I buy most of my shit, as far as grinding wheels and, you know, consumable stuff like that that gets used pretty quick. Let's put a little bit more of this. You could tell it's Saturday because somebody just lit their smoker and the whole area smells like it now. But I'll be getting cleaned up before too late, and the wifey and I are gonna head out and get some dinner tonight. Should be a good time. So let's get some work done. I don't know. Might have to turn my wire speed up just a little bit. Should turn the welder around. It's kind of a little ways away from where I'm working, but not bad. Maybe a little bit too much tip dip. That shit's coming off everywhere. Oh, sorry about that. Bumped you guys right out of this place. Gonna be strong though, for the sake of the front end of a little razor going up it. They always say like try to get as comfortable as possible when you're welding, but it's like so many projects it's almost impossible to get that comfortable because you're leaning, you're underneath, you're doing whatever. So I mean, ideally one thing I'd love to have is like a giant like 15, 18 foot, you know, even a 10-foot fab table would be nice, but they're like in the $5,000–$10,000 range. And then if you're gonna make one yourself, it's incredibly difficult to make them true square flat. So all these fireball tables and these guys that are out there, they're just so expensive. It's unfortunate, really. A smaller bead is the secret because this square stock is rounded, so the weld has to get up in that groove, which is a good thing. It's, you know, better penetration, it gets further up in there, but you don't want to have a big void behind it either, so it's kind of going slow and letting it soak up in that. This is pretty much, that's probably good. I don't want to do overkill on it. I'm just going to work my way down. I'll hit these with the grinder as I work my way down and just kind of clean this edge. And just put a bead across on each one. Let me... I need another extension cord, so I'm having to use my battery powered tools because my welder's on 110 right now. I have a 220 set up, but for some reason this welder just seems to be working better on 110, so better for me, less electricity. I just run it on 110 as much as possible. Let's get a couple of these welded up, see what's going on. I'm gonna make sure that mouth gets some good ground on there. I'm gonna kill this fan real quick. Last thing I need is air blowing into my shit. I like to have a fan on, just keeps a little bit of circulation, but sometimes it's too much. Alright. Yeah, that looks really good. Alrighty, so let me actually get this engine picker so you can see I got welded up in here. Trying to turn my screen back on. There we go. And then these are going to get welded across like that, all the way down till they're fully welded in. So you guys kind of get the picture of what we're doing. Let me wrap this up, get these welded in, and then we'll get this ramp flip back around and see where we're at, guys. So stay tuned. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of little 1-inch welds all the way down. I think you get the point. So I'll get that sped up through this video a little bit for us, and then we'll see what it looks like when we set it back up there. And we'll be getting pretty close for a Saturday and go from there. Thanks, guys. What's up, guys? Still out here on the ramp job. So we got that side caught up to this side now. Shot a little bit of paint in there because we're not going to be able to access it once the ramp's set. But what we're doing right now is we're getting ready to set this first cross support in here. It's going to have one here and one further up right in the center, and that should be all the more metal support that this ramp will need. It'll be supported on the end, down up at the top, and at the end down there. So with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack this in here in place in center. We've already discovered that this angle should work. You can see it's not perfectly straight. It's already cut on an angle. And then I'm going to put these nice gussets I have. These will kind of come in here off the sides and be a support at the top. Then when the ramp is flipped over in place, it'll land on these pads right here, kind of right in the center. And so we got to clean all these up and weld those in. So I'm going to get our two legs on, one up there towards the top, one here, and then we'll actually be able to move the ramp out of the way, clean up our landing plates, the three areas, clean up this railing, and then weld the landing plates in, and then flip the ramp over and put it in place, and the legs should kind of help support it from, you know, the top all the way down to the bottom, basically where it needs to be. So let me get my welder out here. We'll start tacking this in place and go from there. It's been a long process. We worked Saturday, Sunday, it's Monday now. It's going to be a long week, about 15-hour days. Try and get this done. Let me get you guys so you're not rocking around too much. Hopefully you can kind of see right there. Alrighty. Yeah, it's going to be a long week, guys. Got a lot to do, so let's get to it. Had to do some off camera. I had help over here. Partner Mike was here earlier, and we were just rocking and rolling, so I didn't have much set up. But now you're here, so let's do it. Welder's been doing really good on this project. Haven't had a lot of issues with it at all. For some reason, this machine just runs so much better on 110 than it does 220. Which you would think it would run better on 220, but I don't know. It's all good. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, it took a lot of figuring out where we wanted to put our legs, if we were going to do one on each side, and it just seemed like overkill. And with one in the center, it opens up a lot of storage underneath the ramps for them. So, see if we can get it tacked in place. We had classic rock on all day out here today, but I had to shut it down because I'm hearing that if I have that in the background of my YouTube videos, I guess I could get, I don't know, shut down or copyright issues or something. It's too bad. It'd be fun to just let the music blast in the background while you work on this stuff and still be able to do a video, but it's pretty good. Yeah. What's cool about welding is like you could just stick stuff in place and just like check it a bunch of times, cut it off, redo it. I mean, you can't add material. If you cut something too short, you know, that's where you run into an issue, but that's all part of learning. I still do it, you know, and with welding, you can learn how big of a gap you can kind of close if you do run into an issue, if it's on something that's not too critical. But I like that. I'm gonna put a tack in the back. Okay. Now for these, this leg is actually going to look straight to the world. Like when you look at it from the side, the ramp's going to be on an angle. So if I put this straight with the ramp leg, it's actually going to look like it's kind of crooked when it's back the way it's supposed to be. So I'm actually was planning on trying to find center roughly of both pieces and kind of go in there something like that. Too bad, I don't know, I don't think these gussets are 100% square, but you know, something like that. Yeah. I mean, without getting extremely critical, see, I don't want to weld, like get too crazy on this one side because there's a little gap here or whatever. I want to make sure that I get both gussets kind of tacked in place first so that if one's a little further out or whatever, you know, I'm still kind of keeping it true and square with the gusset. But yeah, that's looking good. Let me get the mallet. Better. It's really it's hard because there's a lot of angles here. Man, that is like super close, guys. And actually, a little closer. Get this other one kind of in here. I am just eyeballing these in here straight. I mean, again, you can kind of see it like pretty dead on. Something like that. Yeah. I love it. See what I'm saying? Not bad. They're not perfect. But now I can kind of tap these into place. That looks pretty straight right there. Okay. Go in the middle. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that. That looks really nice. I was really hesitant to do it this way because I didn't know if putting this on there first, or if we should just land the ramp and then build this up underneath. But man, to get a really good strong weld on this, this is the way you want to do it, down on the ground, letting gravity help you out. Because if you're trying to weld up, it's just a whole different scenario. And we're probably going to run into that a lot on the front upper rack, but not a lot, not as much as this. So now I can weld here. It doesn't have to be solid 100% welded in. You can if you want, but you know, it's going to be so strong at some point that be good. Bit of heat. Let that settle. Don't want it to warp it or nothing. Didn't. Should be able to get this on like that and do the same thing on the next one. The next one's longer, but again, once we have it tacked into place, it pretty much holds itself. If you do 2 center tacks, 1 on each side, you can still tap it right or left. I kind of did 2 tacks because I noticed it was sitting on there square. Weld's not bad. I need to slow down a little bit. I think all my pliers are on that side, guys. Hold on. Got lucky. There's a set out on the island. Snip. Whew. That's getting some serious. Oh, wow. I mean, the old hand check. You know when something's just sturdy? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dog. All right, we're just letting that cool off a little bit. Pretty hot. We'll finish this bead out right here. Man, I'm debating on really how much I need to put on the back side of this. If I should do the whole bottom too. It's the only reason I wouldn't mind doing that is because it kind of seals the weld from the back side so it doesn't like rust or nothing up in there. Add a little bit. Now we put a lot of heat into this. You can hear the welder fan running, I think. So I'm just kind of letting it cool down a little bit here, guys. You can kind of see. By no means I claim to be the best welder in the world, but I guarantee you my welds are strong and good enough. That's all it's gonna need on the back. If it starts popping like that, sometimes it's just getting, you know, maybe it's pulling in a little bit of this mill scale or whatever. We tried to take as much off of it as we could, but it you know. I like to trim the wire. I like to start with a short amount of wire coming out. This fucking post is stronger than the entire trailer right now. Alright, now we gotta go do the same thing. I do have to weld down the back side of this. I don't know if I can get in there right now. Let's see. Okay. Wow. That'd be the best weld, and I was the furthest strung out I was the whole time. Now we got to move down here, repeat our process. I think it's this one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I hope it's this one. Hope we don't do the wrong one, bud. That's what's crazy, is you lay everything out, but then you flip the ramp over, so now everything is backwards of what it was when you were the other way around, so who knows, babe? Okay, this is going to be clink, something like that. See? And that'll be our 2 center posts. So we'll repeat the same thing we just did on that one, on this one. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll save a little bit of battery. on the camera, and I'll show it to you when it's done. So it's basically gonna be the same exact process. And then you guys can come in here when we flip this thing back over, hopefully, if we can get to that today. Still got to clean up all of our little plates and everything. And then, by the way, I was using this earlier. I don't know if you guys seen that, and I was putting it in the corners because the MIG weld won't stick to this copper, so then it won't burn the trailer. So I was able to weld here, say, and you won't burn the trailer wood. So like if you're doing a firewall and you're closing up holes, you can get a buddy or somebody or tape a piece of copper to the inside, so when you weld it up from the outside or vice versa, you can clamp this up tight and it'll actually make a smooth weld on the backside and it won't stick to the copper. Alright. Look at that beast. Sheesh, rocket launcher. We'll clean all that up before we paint, acetone everything down, then we'll paint it. Let me move this whole operation down here, guys, and I'll get this welded in for you, so it'll be done that quick. What's up, guys? It's the next morning. We were out here pretty late last night, but we did get this ramp in place, and it's actually sitting there right now under its own power. See, the picker's loose. There's our supports that you saw us welding together. They go down and hit the deck, so these cuts worked out really nice. See that? So that'll be a center support, but it'll get a lot of its strength from this back plate, and then the two down legs coming down underneath, or whatever you want to call them, these lower rails, they also hit. So this is super solid. Then as you make your way up the ramp, you've taken all the flex out of the in-between spans, and then going up there, it'll have the plate up at the top all solid welded in, so it'll be super strong. So today, we're going to start off by just cleaning up a little bit more along this diamond plate, little stuff like that, and then obviously getting that side caught up now to this side. If we can get that ramp up in the air with the supports welded on it like this side today, then we'll be looking really good, because we're all ready to weld all this in. So this one's pretty much ready to go. I am gonna have to lower it down one more time because I want to clean along here a little better so we can weld this in, and then do a little bit more cleaning up on these plates. You can see back there I cleaned the wrong spot. It's no big deal. We're going to hit it with some black paint and go from there, but it's coming along good. I'm going to do a full breakdown video, or at the end of the last video or whatever, I'll do a breakdown, and then I'll get a little bit more into it into my podcast. The Duntown Show, it's a podcast that's out. We started it about last year, actually 2 years ago. I started it, wasn't sure what theme I was going to run with. We did a lot of sports and stuff, and now I'm still going to cover like some sports news stuff or whatever, but for the most part, it's going to just be mainly talking about my business, welding, fabricating, my CNC machine, the ups and downs of what it's like to try and run a business, why I'm not in a shop yet, just all that type of stuff, and some of the stuff that you guys need to do if you're trying to like quit your 9-to-5 and you're sick of it and don't want to deal with nobody's shit no more, and you just want to have your own business. I get it. There's a lot of stress and stuff that comes with it, but at the end of the day, you're doing it for yourself, for your family, and there's nothing wrong with working 9-to-5. I mean, whatever job I've been, we'll go over it more later in the podcast, but I've done damn near everything from cabinet making to underground construction to I've been a gardener. You guys can go back through YouTube. You'll see my videos in there as a gardener. I mean, and I still do a lot of that stuff. Just this last summer, I got a call for a lady. She wanted me to come and pour a big slab of concrete in her backyard. So we wrecked all that out and poured the concrete. So I mean, there's a lot of things. You just got to be kind of versatile. Anything that you've learned in the past, incorporated into this. You know, construction has helped me for figuring out layout. Cabinet making has helped me out with layout and measuring and cutting, and just, you know, I bought a welder. I'm self-taught on that. I don't have mentors. I don't have all of this stuff. There feels like there should be a hidden factor. Fact of the matter is, there's not. I don't have no rich daddies. I don't have none of that stuff, man. This is all just get a decent job and pull money out of the job that you're working and put it aside and make them pay for everything you want. They bought my welder, you know, they bought my CNC machine when I was working as a consultant, making decent money. I'm gonna buy this, make the monthly payment while I worked for them. That company started to dip. I bailed out. I had my CNC machine, my welder, my this, my that, and it's okay, cool. I'm gonna advertise, hey, I can do this, and then you pick and choose what jobs kind of come your way. You'll say, wow, that one was more than I thought I, you know, really wanted to handle. I didn't make that much on this, and you'll start to get a groove. But we'll go more over all of that stuff and tools that'll help you. I know I've kind of repeated myself a lot in this video about stuff, but it's because I'm trying to show you guys that don't have the rich background, the big wealthy this, that, you know, you're just a normal guy, man. You're working in a warehouse, you're working construction, you're working at a retailer, you know, maybe you're roofing, maybe you're already welding, you're sick of welding and for somebody, you want to branch out on whatever the case is, man. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios and I completely understand it. So just kind of looking at this, we got a lot of work to do. So at some point I'll get you guys set up when we're welding in on that side and just kind of see where we're at and go from there, guys. So hang tight and we'll get set up. Let's do it. Hey, bud.
How's that going?
Not bad.
How's your gas? Good?
Yeah. Could be. Yeah. Okay guys, we just got this side all welded in. You see we got that side mocked up. We put a mock-up tire up there. Now we're just figuring out our down supports. Get this one flipped back over, get it mocked up, and then we can get all the down support bars laid out, mimic for both sides. We're gonna start welding everything in. Stay tuned, let's get to it. What's up, guys? How's it going? Had a little camera issues and we've just been banging this thing out, so I'm gonna show you kind of where we're at, get you guys caught up. So what we did, obviously, both ramps are up, they're welded in place now finally, guys. That side's not fully welded in, but it's all tacked in place, plate and everything. You can see we've welded all of this in here. Right now we're cutting all of our expanded steel down to the proper size, because even though we paid for a shear charge, they didn't do it correctly. Yesterday we were able to get these top plates welded on. You can see that they're all welded from underneath all the way around. Welds turned out pretty nice. Welder's been doing really good on this project for us. You know, it's weird, sometimes it just acts up, or like, I don't know, sometimes the material, it has like a weird oil or something, and it's almost impossible to get it off. You can see the legs there, those look good. I kind of want to get you guys out here while we're doing some of the work on film today, if I can possibly. Partner Mike will be back here, so you'll probably hear a lot of off-topic conversation or whatever it is. I don't really like doing the music over my videos, and then since they keep trying to ban us because we were playing stick figure Slightly Stoopid background music the other day, I don't think it'll be a big deal, but I know I can't keep doing that. Everybody's like, no dude, they'll shut you down, or that those artists can make any profits that you would have made off of your videos. And I'm like, I'm not doing this to make money, dude. Over there, it's all solid welded in, everything. All we have to do on this side, guys, is the rub rail and the expanded steel, and that side is 100%. Over here, finished welding up at the top. You can see we got it tacked in place here, or welded in, tacked, welded. So all of that will be welded in. These are obviously done, tacked in at the bottom. So we're getting really close. Today's Thursday morning. And we got to have this trailer basically out of here by Tuesday morning. So we're gonna probably work obviously all day Saturday, and then probably up till Super Bowl on Sunday, because I think the Super Bowl starts like at 3, something like that. And so we'll have to take a little break to watch the game. I'll have my pops over, just probably barbecue a little bit. But anyways, going on these ramps, guys, I'm going to get the top plates laid out for this side. Once I get it welded in, we'll clamp the top plates up there, kind of like we did on that side, land them, weld them in from underneath. And then I'll try and get you guys out here for some of the welding and that action. And then in the next video, it's going to be painting, getting everything clean and painting. Got to paint the deck. And then we got to do the front winch setup still. We got to do the double landing gear in the front still and wire it all in, because they're power landing gears. So that'll be a mission. Brand new solar battery has to go in. It's not, there's no solar panel, but it's a solar compatible deep cycle battery. I'm trying to talk him into doing a solar panel in the front eventually. He's down with it. It's just for time right now, because he's trying to get out to Glamis for President's Day weekend. So, all right, it's looking good. Let's get our gear on and get started on welding some of this up so we can get done. Stay tuned, guys.
All right, guys, I'm gonna start getting in here, just welding on stuff. You'll probably hear partner Mike working in the background. He's here with us today. So we're just gonna let you guys hang out while we work too. Do it. I'm wearing a respirator under my welding helmet, just because the fumes, it's a lot of welding on this project, so after a while you really start to, it's not good for you. I don't always wear it. This one's a little tight. It's a different brand. So if it gets too uncomfortable, I'll pull it. Burning off a little paint from the backside. Woo! It does. It started getting a little bit of porosity here at the end. I don't know if there was a little bit too much dip on there or not, but I don't know. I guess I could have did a little better job cleaning this steel. I got my grinder. Here it is. Battery always dies on you at the worst fucking time, man. That'll remove the paint every time. Not the most comfortable position. Gotta bring this, get this welded up, but this beam is pretty hot. Oh yeah. I'm no little guy, dude, okay? But check that out, looks pretty good. Fuck yeah. Let's do it. You give the welder a second to calm down. The duty cycle is not real long on that machine. Now I'm gonna be doing a lot of welding up. I think I'm gonna take the mask off for a while. Whew. Gotta get the plates fit up in here. I gotta weld the top to this bar across up here. Let me make sure you guys can see that, because I'm gonna move up there next. Let me get you guys in the prime location. Hey guys. Probably should have left the mask on. Just about launched my back into the engine picker right now. Pretty good. La. Are you sure those ramps you're building are strong enough? Get the fuck out of here, dude. Really? Okay, anyone that comments that, you get a free t-shirt. Ah, man.
we're just some welding motherfuckers today, boy. No cussing, dude. This video's for children. Yeah, because I'm sure 10-year-olds want to get out and build this trailer right now. Go to lunch. Alright, let me reposition. I think we're good up here. I'm gonna start getting some plates maybe brought over here and start looking at those. Yeah, this side's moving along pretty good. We got some other welding to do. Do it. Hold that. Okay, not the best, but strong. Getting all this stuff welded in. So let's pull all these clamps. We can move them over here. Lay these out, then get these crossbars cut and cleaned up. Put those in, land the plates up there, weld the plates in. And then we can kind of start probably building the bump rail, guys. We made it, what did we say? It's Thursday. We already go over this? All right, let's do it. Let's go. Damn, who spilt their chains? Nah, I'm kidding. They're not that good. But I tell you, for what we got going on, man, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be a good deal. Partner Mike grinding it away. Let me grab the plates and stuff, and I'll bring them over here and we'll get caught up. All right, guys, we got the plates landed up here, kind of mocked in. We still got to weld them in. We did get the underneath crossbars put in so the plate could land on it. Got everything cleaned up, got all the boring stuff done, so now we can weld this plate in. I'm going to put a seam across the top right here, or a bead across that seam, I should say, like this side. This is a nice solid bead. And then we'll jump down and we'll do all of the plate everywhere it needs to be welded underneath. And go from there. You think we got enough clamps on it? I think so. What I'm trying to do is fish my helmet from here. Trying to fish it. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I can get this. Ain't been fishing in a while, but I still got it, bruh. Alrighty. I don't want to get you guys closer, but I don't want to burn you guys up either. This is the busiest neighborhood, dude. Not really, but like for being a supposedly quiet neighborhood, it's fucking busy. Let's see how far I can reach. Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna chuck it down in the middle first so it doesn't get a bow. This one's nice and flat. This one doesn't have a support beam. So we want to kind of push it down into place. Okay. Good. Wait, one of these things for that? That first. It's crazy because like that side of the trailer, I'm welding right-handed and I can get right on it. This side is like left-handed, so it's kind of like ass backwards. I might have to go out on the outside so I can get a good lineup on this. Let me grab my step stool. Side. So weird. Sometimes when I'm not filming, it's like I can just bang shit out and do it quick, and then when I start filming, it's like I gotta like try and have a different setup and try and not be in your way, but it's worth it, you know. turned out pretty good. We had a slight, like when we first started, it was a little bit off, but it's because I was going in at it left-handed and kind of ass backwards, so it looks good.
Hot.
Couple little boogies. Yeah, not bad. Shit, just got acetone in my. So now we'll go underneath and we'll weld up underneath, get all this welded in. Pretty much match it to this side, guys. If we want, I could set you guys up so you could watch me do that, or we can just kind of get to the end of this video, because on the next video, I'm not sure I'm even going to show you guys cutting the expanded steel. Literally all I'm going to do is fit these pieces in and just do a bunch of tack welds. So when we come back on the next episode, that ramps will be all the way done, expanded steel, and we'll probably either be to the painting portion, or I might start it off with them complete, show you guys the rub rail, and then kind of go from there, showing you guys just how it turned out and everything. This was the main focus on the video, was getting the ramps fabricated, getting them into place so you can kind of see what it looks like. And then obviously, if I do a second video or end this video, either way, at the very end of this, you guys will see the finished product all painted up and everything. But more than likely, I'll get you guys back out here. Like I said, I still got to seal the deck and do a bunch of other stuff, so I want you guys to see that. So stay tuned and like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back with another one, guys. Thanks. What's up, guys? Here's the part you were all waiting for. It's done. This box is just strapped here. Here's the ramps. 100% complete. It is raining today. The customer's on their way to pick up the trailer. As you can tell, we've also sealed the deck. We sealed it flat black with a Gildan paint wood deck sealer. It's hard to tell because it got wet, guys, so it looks a little different, but this is what it looks like right here, this satin black. And then you can see how the ramps turned out. They turned out really, really nice. We're really happy with them. You can see the way the railing came down past, the way the diamond plate laid out, the way the paint turned out. Excuse me, the bump rail going up that side to a spot where it stops, coming down this side. Got all the touch-up paint done. Then if you come up here, open this is just a rain guard. You can see we got the bus bars installed with all of the power and ground coming in. We did CNC a custom landing gear plate, so we got dual power landing gear all wired in, and a brand new solar deep cycle battery all wired in. We built this battery cage for them, remounted the jack back up here, remounted their winch. You can see the way the ramps look. Put a diamond plate front plate on there where the tire strap hooks will hook and go up over the tire. Here's our center post design you guys saw us working on. There's that D-ring right there for the back side of the tire strap. And man, dude, this thing turned out really, really good. It was a lot of work. We got it all done start to finish. About 15 days start to finish from everything. Bringing it in, getting all the material, cutting everything, welding everything in. I mean, just building the whole thing. We didn't have any plans or drawings, just a design we came up with as we went. I think it turned out really, really good. I'm gonna have a lot more videos coming out, guys. I do a lot of horse trailer work, electrical on trailers, stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know we kind of were working on it and then cut to the end, but man, it turned into crunch time. So stay tuned and we'll see you on the next one. Later.